Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. I tell you, I just can't stay away. Truth of the matter is, as long as we're being oppressed as people, why would I want to stay away, and why would you want me to stay away? There are some things that's going on sometimes that doesn't even make sense for people who are thinking, and for people who are not thinking, well, they don't think. Now, I don't, you've heard a guy over in a place they call Israel. His name is Netanyahu. Now, I've heard that Jewish and people in Israel are supposed to be connected some way to God, supposedly superior to others, like black people, the original people, superior to others, all that kind of crap. But everybody says God is love, and yet you see this so-called Israel, they say it just was established in 48, and these people are killing. I mean, actually, I don't care what that justification is. That justification for killing and those Palestinian people is that neither of them have any solution to the problem. That they're pre-called a lying, deceptive association with God is nothing but that. In other words, they do not represent God at all, not the God of love and the God of life. Yet they are possessed because what they do is evil. Now, the reason that blacks are oppressed in America is because America was founded on such evil. And it will remain until the oppressed stand up for God and truth. You better believe it. We are taught here in America that we blacks are slaves, and that they, the whites, taught themselves that they were slave masters. Now, blacks are not slaves, and whites are not slave masters, but we were taught. They, the whites, and their deception that came from whites that are the same spirit as that of Donald Trump. Of Donald Trump. Now, I'm one of those remaining here to remind the deceived slaves that he is not a slave, but a deliverer. Whites had their chance. They chose evil. Listen to the facts. Whites had their chance and they chose evil. And I'm just restricting this here to what we know of the American experience. They chose evil. They chose lying, cheating, stealing, hate, greed, and racism, bondage and slavery, murder. No, you can't disassociate any of this from America. That found a home here. They presented a God that was a replica of themselves, an oppressor, a murderer. That's the religion God that they taught black people. Now that whites and that white Jesus have brought America to the precipice of the rule of one man as God, right here with Donald Trump. This, my friend, is a call for the oppressed to rise up and fix what they are quite familiar with. Now, it is a call for life, for those rising from the dead to cause the true resurrection and introduce what the past has been so unfamiliar with. What we have here is America's report card. She has done many pleasing activities, yet she has moved further to the destruction of that which is good than at any time in her history. She has failed when people are actively destroying themselves. Have you seen the videos of what's happening to the people in Gaza, in Ukraine? There is no way they know how to free the minds and the hearts of the people. All over America today, They have a president. Well, he's not really the president. The Constitution says he's not the president, but white people, and I say white people who have been ruling everything, and rich people have made sure they kept him in a position so he can act and still present himself as president of the United States. And even outside the president of the United States, he's destroying everything that was a little bit good about the United States. They had civil rights, they had some basic human rights that were respected. He's knocking all that down. They tried to feed the hungry, and he's making sure that a whole bunch of more stay hungry. They're trying to find jobs and stuff. He's trying to make sure they fire everybody. They try to have a little safety net to help them when they're going to make sure to take the safety net out the way. Now, you tell me that ain't hell. This is going on right now in America under the rule of white people and a white God. Now, I'm not trying to slap God because God ain't being slapped. I'm telling you that same lie that is destroying this nation is the same lie that they told you with a God that could not help you, did not help them or us. But it is now time for that which refuses to be a slave. Say no. But you know what? Not coming with the guns. You heard Putin, they say the other day, threatening Trump with World War III. Who the hell cares about World War III? They say it was a flood. Okay. Want a World War III and blow everything by our way? Okay. People don't care. People don't care about World War III. If they cared about World War III, nowhere in the world, Putin would be running Russia. If they cared about World War III, nowhere in the world, Donald Trump would be president. The white people would put Donald Trump up as president. No, my friends, the ones that have been in bondage, the ones who know the pain of what your rule has produced here in their own hearts and their own experience, stands up and say no more. But not to cause the same pain that you caused for them on you. No, to take you where you don't know where to go. White people do not understand love. How can you understand it? You were taught to be a slave master. Going to church didn't mean nothing. Going to church didn't stop you from being a slave master. Going to church didn't stop you from hating black people. Going to church didn't stop you from redlining and doing everything you can to abuse. You think going to church stopping Trump from what he's trying to do to people of color? No, y'all don't know what the hell y'all are doing. And black people have been waiting for the moment for your report card to show you that you don't know what you're doing. Doesn't mean that you aren't important. You very definitely are important. You got skills. I mean, you got talents. You are blessed as can be. It's just been that you've been misdirected. You've been misdirected because you were told that you were special. You ain't special. No more special than anyone else. And when you recognize and find and put yourself in your place where you're supposed to be, you will realize just how special you are. And it's only because all of you come together and make one heck of a team. And in that, everybody got a job. Nobody's worried about life. Why? Because what they do in this job that's giving them so much joy is creating that which we say we just got to need, we got to have, and we desire. We are creating that which we say, my friend, bring peace and prosperity, freedom, joy, and happiness, and the opportunity to live the life rather than dream about it. And give representation of a God that says this for all of us black people, all of you white people, all of you people who say you are Israel or Israelites, all of the people that's Palestinians, all of the African people. We talking about a God that's real. Anybody talk that bullshit we've been taught? This is time for a brand new heavenly message. And why did I say bullshit? Because that's what it is. It's just like that funky stuff that's out in the pastor that's falling from a bull's butt. Now, I'm telling you this, ladies and gentlemen, but we got to do something about it. And I'm not just speaking for my health. I'm telling black people, the the call is for us to rise up, not fussing, not mad. They don't need to be mad. Mad don't mean nothing. They ain't gonna accomplish anything. We were mad because we were stupid and didn't know the answer. We were stupid and didn't know the answer. That's why we were mad. Now we don't have to be mad. Why? Because we know the answer. And what is the answer? The answer is changing the things around. The system is designed to do exactly what it's doing. As long as you're trying to prop up the system, you're not going any debt blasted place. But black people, you know that. You know that. Now you stand up and make sure that this system is changed. Make sure that people are protected. Make sure that people know what love is. Make sure that people know what God is. Because God is in the resurrection process. He's bringing us out of this bondage that we've been held down in for so long. Now is our time to make the world as beautiful as God has given us to reflect of it. I'll talk to you later.